Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope this video found you well. So today's video is going to be a February reading wrap up. But before we get started, I kind of wanted to address the elephant in the room. I haven't posted in quite a while and I really am so sorry about that. But I have been super busy with school and figuring out stuff for graduation and work and friends and planning trips. I just want to say I'm sorry for not posting very often lately. And you'll probably wonder why my book cart isn't sitting right here. That's because I switched it to be part of my nightstand. So my room is a mess right now. I switched it to be part of my nightstand just because I wanted to free up some space in my room a little bit. I just wanted to anyways apologize for the fact that I haven't posted in a while. I've just been super busy and yeah. Also, this video isn't going to be very long because for the month of February, I actually just did a reread of the Magnolia Park series. I was going to make a video of me rereading these books, but I ended up reading majority of the books at school and when I didn't have the time or ability to film. So I'm sorry that I didn't get to do that video, but I am going to be going through and reviewing and giving you some of my favorite quotes from these books and giving you my rating. This overall is just a 5-star series for me, but I'm not exactly sure if all of these books are 5 stars. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get into it. I was so ecstatic to read Into the Dark and I went and annotated every book and I think that looks so good. Tell me that doesn't look so good. Anyways, so obviously first we have Magnolia Parks. This is basically just the introductory book to the series. Obviously introduces the characters. I can't really say a lot because one of the biggest points of this is a spoiler, but I think most people know that BJ and Magnolia are a very toxic couple. And this basically is just about their relationship, and BJ does cheat on Magnolia, so this is basically her trying to work through that and trying to figure out who it is because she doesn't know who he cheated on her with. And at the end of this book, the plot twist was insane. I remember reading this for the first time and I was like, holy crap, this was so, the plot twist to this was so good that I don't know. It was just so good. I'm probably rating this one a 5-star just because it's the first one and it introduces all the characters and I love the characters. It might be more of a 4.5 just because of the miscommunication and how BJ treats Magnolia. Obviously, it's frustrating. There's a fly in my room and it's loud. I really apologize if you can hear that. It's fucking pissing me off. Anyways, probably gonna rate this a 4.5 just because of the miscommunication and such. But overall, love this book. I'm gonna read you one of my favorite quotes. While I was rereading these, I made little Notion pages to write down my favorite quotes, and I also have the characters and how they're related and what they look like and how if they know each other or whatnot. The first one, and it says, "Can you die from a broken heart, do you know? And if I did and they cut me wide open, would I bleed loving him? When they lift my heart out of my chest cavity to weigh it, does it weigh the same as his top lip? Is his name carved into my third rib to the left? Bone of my bones, flesh of my flesh. He's killing me. Loving him is killing me too, and I'm afraid because how many loves really do you get in a lifetime? How many chances do you give it before you let it go? I'm letting it go." And then the other quote says, "I've lost BJ hundreds of times to hundreds of different women, and he's nearly lost me twice now to 2 men I love more than I meant to. Do I love Tom? I suppose I do if he's on my mind right now. What does that mean? What could it mean? Because it's not the same as it is with BJ, which is the only love that matters to me, I think. And even then, me and Beej, we keep losing each other, and it doesn't seem to matter that we love each other how we do, which is with a fullness. Kind of like those animals that will eat themselves to death if they're left to their own devices. I'll love him till I die. Love him till it consumes me whole and kills me dead. So maybe love doesn't conquer all, but just some, because all is vast and love is so varied. Like light in a prism, if you move it around a room, depending on how it catches, it changes. It means different things, and there are so many different things love can be to people. I know that some love is beautiful and some is freeing, some unravels you, some love poisons you, some blinds you, some betters you, and some loves break you in invisible ways that no one else knows about until you have to stand up and the weight of your love crushes your bones. Just wow. Just Hastings' writing is so incredibly descriptive, but in such a way that it's so beautiful, and like the metaphors in this book, so incredibly beautiful. Like Magnolia and BJ's whole relationship is a metaphor, and it's just, I love her writing so much. She makes everything sound so beautiful. Next we have Daisy Hates. I think am a Magnolia and BJ lover to my core. I also love Julian. Okay, we'll talk about that later, but this introduces Julian, Christian, and Daisy, and it's from their points of views. Julian is a gang lord and the head of a gang that Christian works in, and also some characters from the other book. Also, it's important to mention that Julian's a gang lord and an art thief, and that's what his people do, is they steal art. So basically, this is just about how Daisy and Christian work through their problems. Also, huge miscommunication, but still really good. I just am going to rate it a 4 only because I like Magnolia and BJ better, probably. I felt really frustrated at Daisy, and her character is just really stubborn, and I don't like the way she talks to people sometimes. So that's why I'm going to give it a 4-star, but I still love them, and I love Julian, especially in the last book, which I'll talk about later, but this is very important because it introduces Julian, so I have to give it a 4-star. Now I'll read you guys a couple of my favorite quotes from this book. So this quote says, "A professor of art history or maybe a conservatory of artwork, but this is where I'd be. Surrounded by beautiful things, things that inspire you and move the world forward and speak to what it means to be human. And there would be nothing bad, so no one would be dying, and if they were, it would be two-dimensional. There would be no blood, just red paint, and love would be straightforward because there are so many different kinds of love in the world, and art captures a moment in each of them. And it's just a moment, not a whole picture, I know that, but there's something lovely about that, isn't there? About a snapshot moment for all the world to look upon, frozen the way the person who painted it saw it and felt it. Like that forever for us to try to see it and feel it the same way." I'm only going to do those 2 quotes because the other ones I wanted to do are kind of spoilers, and I just now realized that. Next we have Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home, and this is a 5-star. So this carries on and tells us about the cliffhanger on the last book, and goes into how Magnolia deals with that, and just follows Magnolia and BJ, and something at the end is extremely sad and life-changing for Magnolia, and I can't tell you guys what it is, but amazing. Love this book. This is one of my favorites of the series, 5 stars. Yeah, so I'll tell you guys a couple of my favorite quotes. So this one says, "How many loves do you get in a lifetime? For me, it's just the one. I've had more, but as I float away, there's only one I'm thinking of. He is what I'm thinking of. Not how he hurt me, not what he did to me, not what we've done to each other, just him. How his hair falls on his face, the dip in his top lip, how his mouth parts when he's thinking, the freckle on the right side of his mouth, the shape of his nose. I trace his jawline in my mind, count the colors in his eyes. I feel sad for the splittest of seconds because I always kind of thought they'd be the last things I see here on Earth, and that we'd get to Tobermory eventually, grow up and grow old together. But here I am now, grateful anyway that I got the chance to love him at all. Albeit maybe badly at times, but at least I got to love him, and maybe now I appear to be leaving him once again. I hope that he forgives me for this one because it wasn't my fault. The sounds are getting quieter now, and even though they could be getting louder too. My sister's mouth is moving, she's reaching for me, my face feels wet, the edges of my vision start going dark, and my Valentine-stained heart surged as it remembers every waking moment of our youth spent tangled up with each other. And a million blurry nights of tears and bad words and big feelings and messy kisses and granny hands and choices we should have never made, but I'm so glad we did. I love that tree. I love that door that he could never lock. I love that piece of sandstone that is so much more than a piece of sandstone. I try to tell Bridget that I love her, but the sounds come out muffled. It gets darker and my head feels lighter. It's pulling me under and I let it. And I drift off into the infinite void thinking of him." So good. her writing, like, I literally can't get over it. Next we have Daisy Hates the Great Undoing. This is probably also a 5-star. This is just going into more detail about Christian and Daisy again. As I said, Julian also. Really good. I don't really know what else to say. Like, most of the things I could say are spoilers, and so there's not much I can say. I will read you a couple quotes once again. So the first one is, "Fuck, I hate loving her. It's the great undoing of my heart as I know it. She's made herself at home, kicked off those fucking cerulean heels, put her feet up on my left rib. Over the mantelpiece, she hung her own portrait up herself, that little minx. Best painting I've ever seen, too. Better than any woman anyone has ever painted in the history of time. A face I'd win battles for. A face I'd lose anything for. Even her. It's time. I love her more than I've ever loved anything, and I thought I might have been able to angle it, find a way for us to work. A life between where I can be who I am and love her how I do, and it not be the death of her. But it's not on the cards. I'd be the death of her, and I won't be, so it's time." If you understood the context of that quote, like, ugh. It's so good. Finally, we have Magnolia Parks Into the Dark. You guys don't understand how excited I was for this book. And it did not disappoint. 5 stars. It did not disappoint. Everyone is talking about how it's so long. Oh, it's so long. It could have been 700 pages shorter. No, it couldn't have. If it was that much shorter, we wouldn't have learned about her parents. We wouldn't have learned about just quite how much she loves Bridget. We also wouldn't have learned about, we also wouldn't have gotten the amazing writing that Jessa Hastings has. It just wouldn't be such a great book if all of that wasn't in here and if it was shorter. Because so many of these moments are so insanely important to the book, and maybe it's just that you guys don't understand, like, that's what this is. This whole series is made up of these people and their experiences and their stories and their memories, and that's what makes these characters feel so real. Like, it needs to be this long. There needs to be this many important little stories being told and flashbacks for this to be a good book. Like, that's just my opinion. I understand that it was a little long. Like, yes, it was super long, and it did take me quite a while to finish it, but I understand why it was so long, and I appreciate it, and I loved the writing, and I thought this was an amazing wrap-up to Magnolia and BJ's story, and it's just an amazing, like, story about the human experience, really. Like, it just portrays the human experience in such a real way, and it was just so good. Like, oh my gosh, absolutely loved this. I was so excited, and it did not disappoint. I do have quite a few quotes. Okay, I have 2 quotes. So the first one is, "It is hard to love someone so much. I should like to say that. When you think about love, there's an innate softness attached to it. Do you know what I mean? Maybe it's that whole love is gentle, love is kind thing, and it is true. There's a tenderness to loving someone. It's Vaseline on the screen of how you see them, rose-colored everything, picking wildflowers, gentle fingers dragging over cheeks and butterfly kisses. But there's another kind of love, a love like ours. You drown in it, fill up your lungs with it, choke on it, and cough it up as you lay there dying. There's a violence to loving someone sometimes. BJ has fought for my honor 100 times, and he will 100 times more, I'm sure, because he loves me, and that's what you do when you love someone. That is what you do when you love someone." And then the second one says, "Grief is funny like that, how it ebbs and flows from you. It's not corked like champagne, a bottle that bursts open, fizzes all out until it's empty. It's more like a kind of weather, a kind of wind. Sometimes it's these horrible gusts that you feel undeniably, hurts your ears, makes you close your eyes, chills you right down to your bones. Some days it's a pleasant breeze that blows across your face, and it's neither sad or bad. It's just some kind of unspeakable tenderness. Some days you feel no breeze. That started happening to me, and I don't know how I feel about it yet. Not that I don't think of her. I sort of think of her every day forever. But more than that, when I do, it doesn't necessarily feel like someone's dropping a crystal vase inside my chest. That's not to say I don't still have days where I'm a glassware shop situated somewhere along the San Andreas Fault, and there's an earthquake and things are falling and breaking everywhere. But there was a time where every day felt like the big one California's waiting for. Just total demolition. I suppose it doesn't feel like total destruction anymore." Overall, I absolutely loved this book, loved the quotes, loved the characters, loved the ending, all of it, except for, what is going on, Jonah? What is going on, Daisy, Christian, Jonah? What is going on? I need to know. I was a little pissed that we didn't get to know what was going on, and I was worried. I was worried for Magnolia. I was like, what's going to happen? And nothing happened. So what's going on? That's all I have to say for this book. That's all I have to say for this series. I would like to tell you guys that I made a decision to I know, don't get too excited. I'm not much of a fantasy girly, but I have heard such great things about this, absolutely no bad things, so I thought I would try it. And I don't want you guys to get too excited, but I want to do a reading vlog of this, and hopefully I'll continue with that. But that's just depending on how much I like this book, and if I have the time to read it at home and film it. If I don't end up liking this book, I'll probably just start a new video or something, but I really want to make it a goal for myself that I can post at least twice a month. And I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but as a high school senior who's about to graduate, who also has a job, who also has a family, who also has friends and a boyfriend, like, I don't have all the time in the world to do this, and I would absolutely love to be able to do this as a full-time job, but I'm just not there yet. Hopefully someday I'll get there. That would be the dream, honestly. But that's all for my February reading wrap-up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I absolutely will never stop recommending the Magnolia Park series to anybody. It's so entertaining and so amazing and beautiful, and I love it so much. Yeah, so I hope you guys have a good rest of your day, your night, whatever, and thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to give this video a thumbs up or a comment or subscribe, that would help me out so much, and it would make me so grateful. I love building my community on here, and I love making friends and talking about my bookish interests on here. So it's just always good to be able to make new friends on here. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. It was such a pleasure to get to talk about this series, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!